What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Paul. This is the Leeds Therapy. I do hope you are doing well. Thank you as ever for stopping by. I really do appreciate you all. And just before we get into today's video, if you could just make sure that you are subscribed, that your notifications are turned on, that you're liking, that you're hyping, all of that good stuff, that would be greatly appreciated. If you're listening to the audio version of this, just make sure that you are liking the audio for me and also following on Apple or on Spotify as well. So, shall we just get into it? I think that's probably the easiest thing to do. Went to the game today and it finished pre-season against RB Leipzig 2-0 overall. But, as we mentioned, it was two 60-minute games, if that kind of makes sense. So it's two 60-minute games played in four 30-minute sections. So it was, everybody got a chance to play. That's the best thing that I could say. You're going to have to forgive me because I did catch the sun. I was sat in the cop 4 rows from the front and the sun was beaming down on my forehead. I'm very pale-skinned. I have a slight ginger gene in me and any form of sunlight just destroys me, by the way. It makes me feel horribly bad. But we are where we are and we do what we do. So the lineup came out and in terms of the team that was starting, obviously Alex Cairns in goal. I think a lot of us wanted to see Trafford, but Trafford was never going to play. And then you had the back three defensive line of Muramovic, Bornau and Rodon. And then kind of like a midfield line of Justin, Longstaff, Ampadu and Bogle. And then three up top, it was Dan James, Calvert-Lewin and Harry Wilson overall. So I think if I'm going to put, obviously there was lots of subs that were brought on. So the best way to describe it is that we had Jaden Liu came on, Jakobiel came on, which was really good to see. Anton Stack came on, Tanaka came on, Aronson came on, Mechi came on, Callum Mills came on, Alfie Cresswell came on, Reece Chadwick came on, and Nonto came on as well. Interestingly, Pirro wasn't used at all. He was a sub, but he wasn't used at all. And I don't know whether or not that speaks to how much longer he's got left at the club or what, but overall. So if I was to look at the game overall as a 2-hour spectacle, shout out to the stewards as well, who let people, because it was hot, who let people come and stand in the shade and just kind of not let people mill around, but they were letting people stand on the concourse bit. They were letting people stand just to get out of the sunlight a little bit. And it was just really nice to see that they weren't all, not that they weren't taking their job seriously, but they were just letting people do what they kind of wanted to do. And it was really lovely to see. Fantastic to see so many young kids there as well. Really, really, really encouraging to see that. So yeah, that was absolutely phenomenally good to see. I was nearly late to the game because I forgot it kicked off at 2, which nearly threw me massively. So game overall, one of the things that I always talk about is that I want to look for situations where we're improving, and what you want to see game on game on game on game in pre-season is improvements from players or improvements from the team ethic overall. And what I would say about this performance was, I think it was a very, very good performance. I'll say that hands down. I think it was a very, very good performance against a side that is regularly in the Champions League, but also as well, what I really, really liked was our defensive line was very, very strong today. It was very, very organised. It was very switched on. I cannot, having seen him in the flesh now and watched him play, Muramovic is just a specimen of a defender. He's so comfortable on the ball. He's got a really unique turn of pace over about 10 or 15 yards. He's just very, very assured. His game sense, his knowledge of where other people are, his interaction with his teammates as well, which is really, really good. And I know that's important for Farke, is the interaction and building that cohesion between teammates. Whenever there's anything going on, he's always getting involved. But he was very, just to watch him in the flesh, he just a very, very good player, strong, quick, very, very good touch, doesn't get flustered. Just, I like everything that I see about him. You can see, you know, sometimes you see the price of a player and you kind of go, oh, I'm not too sure about that. But for me, I thought he played very, very well, and he did a really, really good job. I want to give a shout out to Bornau as well. I think Bornau hasn't put a foot wrong this pre-season, and again, he was playing the Jacobiol role today, if you like, and looked very, very good. He looked assured, was quick on the ball, good passing, good movement. It was really, really nice to see. One of the big things to talk about was the organisation of the entire team when we didn't have the ball, because Leipzig had more possession than us, and our organisation during that match was really, really good in both of the two 60-minute games. It was the overall, just the concentration levels and the quickness of pace. There was sometimes when I felt like we were playing a little bit too slow, but then when we picked up pace, we just looked absolutely brilliant. So the first goal that Calvert-Lewin scores, by the way, brilliant goal, absolutely brilliant goal. So Bornau passes the ball out to Bogle. Bogle's got it on the wing. I don't know what Joe Rodon's doing, but suddenly he's an inside right. And Rodon just motors down the right-hand side. Bogle puts a lovely ball onto him, and I didn't realise Rodon was that quick. I genuinely thought, from sitting in the cop end, that it was Wilson. And he plays a lovely ball across the 18-yard box into the 6-yard area for Calvert-Lewin just to get there and put the ball back across and put the goal in. Important to mention, that's 3 goals for Calvert-Lewin now in pre-season. He looked good. He looked strong as well. Little flick-ons, little touches, holding the ball up. Really, really nice to see. One of the things that I noticed throughout the half as well is that we were trying to mix up the style of play a little bit. So rather than what we did last season was long balls coming out, what we were trying to do was pass and move a little bit more. And that's what having a Wilson in your team brings to that overall in terms of the way that it plays. And just, I felt, like I said, that there were times where we didn't have the ball and we had to cope without having the ball. And I felt like we coped exceptionally well without the ball. Like that organisation, that discipline, that just knowing where players are and just doing very, very well. Cairns gave me heart attacks on a couple of occasions. I thought Justin was good. I thought Bogle was good. I thought both Ampadu and Longstaff again. Longstaff has quietly gone about pre-season and done really, really well for me. And I've liked what I've seen of him. Dan James looked good on the wing in that first 30 minutes, just him coming in. It took him a little while to get going, but when he did, that pace is there still, which is really, really nice to see and really, really good to see as well. Wilson was a little bit quiet at the start, but then he sort of grew into it a little bit more. In the second 30 minutes of the first game, if you like, I felt like he came into his own a little bit more. I think he's still trying to learn what his guys can do, if that makes sense. So there were little times where little flick-offs or little balls around the corner didn't quite come off, but that's what I want to see in pre-season. I want to see things like that being attempted. And like I said, I felt like we were a little bit slow at times, but when we picked up the pace and when we went at them a little bit more, we were so much better. And that's the really funny thing about us, is that when we do go at a quicker pace, we are very, very much a match for absolutely anybody. It was really, really good to see. So the first game, or first hour, if you like, ended 1-0. I was happy with the performance that I saw. I thought everybody put in a really, really strong shift. The levels have gone up again. Obviously, the level of opposition has gone up, and I feel like we look every inch of Premier League team, and I know we are because we're now going into the second season. But there's that kind of realization of, we're actually quite good. So I was very, very pleased with that. Apologies for the interruption. Just need to have a quick word with you. Again, we are talking about the ever wonderful Holy. That is, I'm on the lemon hydration. I need the hydration after today. I will definitely say that. So as I mentioned before, we are partnered with Holy now. Fantastic, fantastic drinks company. And because of the partnership, I have managed to secure you guys some discount codes. So it's Leeds for 10% off your Holy orders for existing customers, and Leeds 5 for £5 off your first order over $14.99, and that's for new customers. There's a QR code in here as well. As I mentioned before, with Holy, there's nothing nasty in it. There's no sugar. It's a vegan product. It's natural juices that are in it as well in terms of the drink. and it is very, very good. You get the choice of hydration, you get the choice of iced tea, you get the choice of electrolytes, and you also get the choice of milkshakes as well. And it's literally just add water, shake it up, drink, and enjoy. So thank you once again to Holy for partnering with the channel. We really do appreciate you. And if you do want to check it out, the links and stuff will be in and around on the video and also in the description below. Thank you very much to Holy again for partnering with the Leeds Therapy. And then the second quote-unquote half, if you like, happened. So who came in there? So you had Linu came in, Biol came in, Stack came in, Tanaka came in, Aronson came in, and Mecha came in as well. Overall, Mecha and Calvert-Lewin are similar but different players. This is going to sound a little bit weird. Mecha's always looking for the little give and go, where Calvert-Lewin is looking for the layoff. And Mecha did that a couple of times, and he was a bit frustrating. But he does put himself about, and he is a physical presence there as well. So impressed with that. I thought Tanaka was very good. That's probably his best game of pre-season, just breaking up play, getting the ball, easy passes, just making sure that everything's going where it's supposed to do. Brendan Aronson doing what Brendan Aronson does, which is ratting around and doing what he needs to do. Missed a couple of decent chances. There was one where he laid the ball off in the second 30 of the 60 where he should have just shot a goal, but it missed Mecha by literally centimetres. Now, I want to give a big shout out to the youth players in particular, because you had... let's just see. You had Mills that came on. You had Cresswell that came on. You had Chadwick that came on, and then Nonto that came on. All around about. Well, they're saying it's the 80th minute, so I want to say it was around about a little bit into the second half, so to speak. So Muramovic played loads, Bogles played loads, Justin played loads, and Harry Wilson had played loads as well. So they'd come off, and these youth players, for me, are really, and I mean really, really good. They're not fazed by the pressure. Their touch is good. I really like what I see from Callum Mills. I find him to be a very, very skillful player. He's quick. He's got pace. He pops up in really weird positions that you wouldn't expect a player to pop up in. And just, there was a little moment where he brought the ball down, beat a man. There was two guys coming to the ball, and he did like a 360 pirouette on the ball. And the only way that the Leipzig players could stop him was fouling him, essentially. And he's bigger than what I thought he was as well. He's nearly the same height as Mecha. But one thing that I did notice with all the youth players is that the older players, if you like, we're giving them encouragement and giving them sort of instruction or things to do. And they were intently listening, and just that respect, I think, is the thing that I'm talking about, and it speaks to the culture of the players overall. I was just very, very impressed with what I saw. So the second goal that we scored, that Mecha scored, very, very similar to the first goal that we scored in terms of where Mecha was and where DCL was. So it started off with a run down the right-hand side from Chadwick. Chadwick then played the ball to Nonto. Nonto then played it to Aronson. Aronson then continued his run. Nonto did an inside underlap, if you like. Aronson then played the ball on to Nonto, and Nonto got to the byline, pulled the ball back, and Mechi was there to put the ball in. And that was fantastically worked goal. And it was just that little moment where we up the pace, move a little bit quicker, and do something a little bit different, really, really makes the difference overall. And it just looked like a really, really good goal. There was a moment as well, there was a couple of moments where Wilson came to life a little bit, like I was saying, with like where he took control of the ball, beat a couple of players, ran through, where he played the ball to Aronson, and what he should have tried to play it through to Dan James, but he should have just carried on. For me, he should have just carried on and gone with the shot. And then there was one where he ended up in the box. There was a cross from I want to say it was Linu, I think it was, and just as he's reaching the ball, just tries to do a little bender with his left foot and nearly got it in, but it didn't quite. Just so he's starting to come alive a little bit more, and I'm starting to see him settle a little bit more. So the signs that I'm seeing from him are very, very good. And Jacobiol, by the way, just swallowed up their number 9 for that whole second 60 minutes. He's just an absolute beast. And that three of Muramovic, Biol, and Rodon, that's going to be a really good defence. And then when you've got Trafford behind that, and then obviously you've got the wing-backs that are going to be coming in as well, that, for me, it's just a really, really positive thing. You know, some of the stuff that I saw from Linau as well, I thought I thought was very, very good. His touches, his moving forward with the ball, strong, physical. Same with Mills as well, very strong, very physical. Cresswell, great, really, really good. Again, strong and physical. Am I saying this was like a world-beating performance? No, but what I am saying is that I'm consistently seeing improvements from the boys as we're getting closer and closer to the season starts. It's just starting to ramp up a little bit more, which is exactly what you want to see and exactly how you want it to go. And I'm very, very pleased with what I've seen. It was a really, really hot day today, and I'm very pink. And I forgot to put on sunscreen, which is kind of my own fault, but it is what it is. But it's made my hair go lighter, which it always does. But I enjoyed the game. I thought it was a good performance, strong. I thought that people understanding their roles, getting involved, doing what they need to do, and just doing, like I said, just doing the right things at the right times and making the right decisions at the right times, which was really, really good to see. And overall, I'm absolutely happy with what I've seen, and I enjoyed it as a spectacle. Like I said, it was great. Nobody in the West Stand at all, but the rest of the stadium was pretty much full. Good atmosphere. It was nice. I wouldn't say it was like a raucous atmosphere. It was a nice atmosphere. Like I said, lots of kids there, and stewards were kind of nice and relaxed, which just made for a really good atmosphere. They've got these new rolled pizzas that they do there, and they were very, very nice. I had one, and it was absolutely lovely. I also had a wild boar hot dog on the way into the ground, which was one of the nicest hot dogs I've ever eaten in my entire life, I have to say. But yeah, overall, happy with the performance, happy with the way that it went. So now over to you guys. You tell me what you think. How did you find the performance? Did you watch it on LUTV? Did you go to the game? Let me know in the comment section down below. Apologies that this is coming out later than what I expected it to. There is a stadium update that is due to come. I've got to go do the filming for that tomorrow morning. It's a Sunday morning, so bear with me on that. That's probably going to come out Sunday evening. But overall, like I said, I'm happy. But you let me know what you think in the comment section down below. That's going to do it for this one, guys. Like I said, I hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe, notifications are turned on. If you're listening to the audio version of this, just make sure that you are liking and that you're following on either Apple or on Spotify. Thank you again to our partners, Holy, for getting involved with the channel and helping us out. All of the links for Holy will be in the description below. If you want to go and check them out, please do so. Make sure that you use my codes. That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for the support on that already, guys. I've seen it, and I really, really appreciate you for doing that. Take care of each other. Most importantly, take care of yourself. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Cheers.